Hi guys, and welcome back to Marie's Acrylic and Gel Nails here in sunny central Queensland. Okay, now we're moving on to acrylic. So acrylic or a sculptured nail are made by a combination of a liquid acrylic product with a powder product. The two products form a soft ball that can easily be molded into a nail shape. Normally we call the liquid a monomer and the powder still stays a powder. After it's applied, the soft acrylic hardens into a strong artificial nail. Acrylics can be applied to the natural nail tips, or nail forms to strengthen and extend the nail. They can also be used to repair weak, bitten and torn nails. As a nail technician builds the nail to conform to a shape of the client's fingers and hands for a natural looking, durable nail. The basic chemistry of acrylic is simple. There are three basic ingredients in an acrylic nail process. A monomer is something made up of small molecules that are not attached to another. The liquid acrylic is a type of monomer. A polymer is made up of molecules that are attached in long chains that usually form something hard. Finished acrylic nails are polymers, a catalyst in the ingredient that speeds up the hardening process. The hardening process is referred to as curing. The powder acrylic used as a combination of ground up polymer and catalyst. The process of forming a nail is called polymerization. So there's a little bit of science for you. Now there are two methods to doing acrylic nails, one colour or two colour. The one colour method is used a single colour of acrylic powder, a clear, a natural or a pink for entire nails, and produces a nail that usually is worn with nail polish. The two colour method uses white acrylic for the free edge and a natural clear or pink powder for the nail bed. It produces the look as if it was French manicured and needs no polish. So in addition to your supplies, most of you already know we need the acrylic liquid, we need the acrylic powder, we need a primer, we need an etching primer. Some of us use them, some of us don't. It's still the same thing. Primers can be non-etching or etching. We need our files, we need containers to hold our liquids and our powders, nail forms or tips and glue, our sable brushes, safety glasses, plastic gloves and masks if so choose. So let's get into the basic theory of how to produce a nail. So we're going to start here. We're going to complete our pre-service sanitization, which I've talked about in my other videos. The station setup, we'll greet our clients, we'll wash our hands, we'll do our client consult, and we'll check for nail disorders. Now, in our client consult, we'll decide whether we're doing tips or we're doing sculptured nails. So then we want to remove our polish. We want to clean the nails and making sure that there's no dirt or debris caught under them. At the same time, you don't want them dripping, the nails soaking in water. They are porous and you don't want them holding that, because that's how you will get mold and bacteria infections. I normally put stage 3 back up here when we're washing our hands, and we take a nail brush in and I make sure they give them a really good scrub then. So then we want to apply a cuticle remover. We want to push back our cuticles. We want to nip any hangnails and any cuticle because we do not want cuticle on the nail bed whatsoever, because it causes lifting. And then if you're using a cuticle remover, I wipe it off with non-acetone, because it also helps to dehydrate the nail bed, especially if you don't have a product to do that. So then we want to buff the nail to remove the shine. And the same thing back when I was talking about tips. If the client says she is a lifter, then a block buffer is not going to cut it. You might need to use 180. You may have to go to 150 and etch a little bit more. You then apply, in my case I would do 2 wipes of my Nail Pure Plus. I would then use my dehydrators. If the client has expressed she's a lifter, I also have another product that is perfect for lifters. And then I apply 1 coat of primer. Now, if I was using tips, you just refer back, if you're using tips, to my video on tips and party nails for the information on how to apply them properly. If you're not and you're going to do a sculptured, then we would position our nail form, we would apply 1 coat of primer, we would prepare our liquid and our powder, we dip our brush into the liquid, then into the powder to create an acrylic ball. Now, most of you all know, depending on what kind of ball you want, whether you want large, medium or small, depends on how much liquid you remove from the brush before you put it into the powder. Okay, so your first ball should be where the free edge joins the nail form. Then you shape that ball using the belly of the brush, and you dab and you press. Don't paint. You place your second ball of acrylic on the natural nail next to the free edge. Dab, press and shape into shape. I need to move this down. So then we place our third small ball at the acrylic cuticle area and dab and press into shape. Then we place a 4th medium ball to make the C curve and to help against the nail breaking over the middle of the nail and press into place. We remove the nail forms, we need to pinch and shape. We then shape the nails with our files, we buff them, we apply cuticle oil, we clean, and we apply polish. So that is a quick basic theory look at how we would do a sculptured nail. Again, if you were doing tips, you would insert the tip procedure that I showed you in an earlier video in here, and you wouldn't put on the nail form. So I hope that was helpful. What I will also do is show you at some later date how to do an overlay on natural nails with acrylic, and it is exactly the same theoretical procedure. Oh, that was horrible, Marie. It's the same theory procedure, just a few different steps. We won't be using forms, we won't be using tips. It's still the same basic 3 steps, 4 steps, free edge, middle, cuticle, and then our fourth ball to apply strength to the nail. I can also show you how to create a nail before you go any further. When you've got really bad nail biters and you need to extend a little bit, and we will go into that. But again, it's still all the same theory as what was just on the whiteboard. So that's pretty much that part of it. The same with fills. Fills are different in the fact that you're filling in new growth. So you've got your nail bed here. God, I hope fingers don't look like that in real life. So that's your nail, and the red will symbolize our acrylic. Now that's being done, but it needs to be filled in this section here to restabilize the nail. So you would start off, you would, again, the same type of thing, you would remove all your nail polish. Well, before any of that, you would do your pre-service, sanitization, clients checks, rah, rah, rah. You would remove your polish, and then this edge here, you need to smooth out. Now, I use a tip blender, which I can use on this when I'm doing my fills. You can file it just as easily. So you file it, you buff it, you blend it as much as possible here, so you do not get a shadow when you're filling in. So basically, once you've filed, buffed and blended this line here in to the natural nail as well as you can, so let's scrub some of it out to symbolise it's being buffed and smoothed in. You would then get your, I would use my Nail Pure Plus. I would 2 swipes over all 10 nails. I would dehydrate it, and then I would put my primers on there. You always do 2 coats of primer. I like to do one first, and then as I get to each nail before I put the acrylic on, I put my second lot of primer on. So I will have primed, I'm ready to fill. I would prime again, and we would only need our small ball to go in here, and then I would add my last ball back here into the middle and smooth it all out to create my sieve curve and my strength so my nail wouldn't break. And again, the same thing. When it's dry and it's cured, you file and shape, paint, blah blah blah. But I will do a video on that. Cracks, you can get cracks in the acrylic. A crack is an additional repair of extra acrylic to fill in the crack in the acrylic nail to reinforce the rest of the nail. So again, you remove your old polish, file the crack in the acrylic, file in a V into the crack. So say we have, we'll use the black, a crack down here, we would file in a V in that section there. Blend that all in, then we would Nail Pure Plus in my case, or an anesthetic wipe in your case, if that's what you have. You would prime your twice, and you would go back in and fill that with acrylic and blend it file it, smooth it, I would still come back with that fourth bull over all of it to give it the strength, and file, reshape, buff until it's smooth, and apply your cuticle oils and rah rah rah. So then that brings us on to our last little topic in acrylic nails, which is actual removal of acrylic nails. So you fill a bowl with acetone, and it has to be acetone, not non-acetone, and it has to be big enough to cover the client's fingers. I have recently, I'll just grab it, come across a system which I love. Instead of using the nail wraps, you fill the base full of warm water, you fill this up, you secure it on, it has little divots inside it, and you fill them up with acetone. The warm water helps the acetone work quicker. So as your clients are soaking in there for about 15 minutes, once they've soaked for 15 minutes, you use an orange stick to start softening the acrylic. Now, if you've used a sealing top coat that you've set under your UV or your LED light, you need to file that off first. Okay, it has to be, that top coat has to all be gone before you soak. So you keep just removing with your orange stick. Once it's all off, you gently buff the nails, you condition the nails with your cuticle oil, and you condition the skin. Normally I suggest to anybody who's totally removing their acrylic nails permanently that we do a manicure afterwards. You can use the wraps, which I have just some here, that you soak the pad only into this white pad here. You only soak that in acetone and then wrap the finger around it. I use them a lot for gel. I have moved out of using them for soaking off full acrylics. I find I just don't get what I want out of them. So our next topic will be gels. So, but watch out, I will do a video on doing an acrylic tip, acrylic sculpture, an acrylic overlay, and then I will do removing acrylic off the nail. And once I've done those practical videos, we'll move on to gel. Until next time, guys, stay calm and be good and keep safe. Bye.